I see.
Yeah.
I have no comment on any of this because I'm not I barely dabble my feet into fighting games at all. So
obviously you should get like the basic concept of how like it's not just for fighting games, but it's as a game design thing concept as a whole.
Yeah.
Like why should I have to be why should I be what's the word? What's the fucking word?
Treated differently or something?
Not treated differently. Because the thing is, everyone's, I guess, more or less treated equally in terms of like what the game does. But the way how it's designed, why should I be prohibited or penalized or whatever? Why should I get penalized for wanting to actually get better at your game when you're basically advocating playing stupid? Like, that's stupid. It's like that's like me picking. I don't play this game very often, but say for example Call of Duty or something like that. Let's say I like to use the DS. I think it's called the DSR, the bolt action sniper rifle. Is that what it's called? I
believe so.
Yeah, I think it's called the DSR. I really like using that weapon. Why should I? It's like if I use that weapon, I'll get like let's say everyone else gets 100 points for a kill. That's like for me, I get 50 points for a kill and they get 100. Like the full points, and I only get half. That's not fair. That's what this game does. That's what Persona 4 Arena does. It basically says, you want to get good at this game? Fuck you. You're not allowed to get good at this game unless you sell your soul to the devil or some shit.
I was just thinking that. I was literally just thinking that.
The only thing that's ironic because there's a whole bunch of fucking devil imagery in the game. So, you know all the gravy they did to get that game popular. Hey! If you don't know what gravy is, don't worry about it. It's a joke I like to say. Gravy. Let's put it this way. It involves dicks and asses.
Why would you say that?
Well, I'll get to the... I'll save the whole discussion on full details on gravy another time. Because this is not the time for that.
No, in fact, probably the whole thing about the whole thing about the whole fighting game thing could have even probably been saved for another time.
Well, we could just say like, I don't know, the title can be like, "Let's Talk," and then the subject could be like, "Brian, fuck you. I like arenas," something like that. I don't know. I know it's in a lot of these podcasty, let's talky thingy bobbers. It's not always just one subject; it's usually multiple.
No, I do know that too, but no, yeah, I don't even know what's going on with
long silence.
No, yeah, but no, yeah, I do know about that, but it's just like it just seemed very I don't know, one-sided or something because I literally had absolutely nothing to comment about only because I don't really know how to really react to talking like that. I don't really know what to really comment about certain fan bases or whatever.
Speaking of fan bases, what do you feel about the Kingdom Hearts fan base and how they basically ruined everything, made everything involving that series into more or less gay porn fantasies?
Oh, well, you mean the obviously stuff between like Sora and Riku
Axel's Roxas, Axel Leia, Sora Leia, all these like I'm probably getting some names wrong, but like I don't get it when people do that shit.
But then again, isn't there a lot of that for a lot of other games?
There is, but I honestly don't see it
as much as
it's clearly to me whenever like now it's gone to the point where someone says Kingdom Hearts, you don't think of the game, you think of Yaoi pairings now. That's what's getting to the point now. At least that's what I see a lot of times now. I seem
to be definitely on the other side where when I mention Kingdom Hearts, everyone's like, "Oh, Sora's freaking cool. Kairi's going to be this new Keyblade Master in 3. She better be." And
But I think we're talking about not doing too many spoilers, and they just spoiled the entirety of Dream Drop Distance right there.
How?
Have you seen Dream Drop Distance?
Yeah.
Kyrie is right at the very end of the game confirmed to be soon to be a new Keyblade person.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the secret. I thought the secret was, spoiler alert, that freaking Ventus was the Keyblade that was given to Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Well, that's other things. I'm just saying.
See, that's the only thing. That's the only thing I knew about. But the other thing too. Here's the thing. You don't Kyrie in Kingdom Hearts 2.
She holds a Keyblade. Yes.
Yeah. You don't just be like, okay, here, Kyrie. Take this Keyblade, fight off random Heartless. Now in Kingdom Hearts 3, we're going to take that away and you're going to be a damsel in distress yet again. They're not going to fucking do that.
Yeah.
She's going to be a playable character. Okay, I will be a little bit disappointed. Not majorly, but I will be a little bit disappointed if at no point throughout the entire game, you do not get teamed up with Sora, Riku, and Kyrie at one time.
I think they have to do that sort of thing.
They have to.
But the funny thing about it, this is the Japanese game industry. There have been quite a number of times where basic logic is like completely foreign to them. I'm not saying foreign because to us they're foreigners. I'm saying like literally the concept. Like, let's put one example right off the bat. Let's about Namco Bandai after a recent Soul Calibur 2 HD online thing. Everything that's funny about it is that if they were to make this, they made this game, and people say all the time that the best version of the game was the US version. This such and such, it needs to be really good netcode, just like Tekken Tag 2 and Soul Calibur 5, and all these things like that. And yet, the game for the HD wise doesn't look very much different than actual regular Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube. The graphical upgrades almost non-existent, really, in all honesty. There's no Japanese voice option, which makes no sense, because more or less everything is like ported over from the console one. But they chose the European one, which had actually a lot of really bad bugs and a lot of infinite combos. It was the worst one. Like, it was the one that people said, like, this one's whack, like straight up stupid. And yet they used the European version, PS2 version, which is the worst one of the free versions, honestly. So, the European PS2 version has the main basic coding of how the game works. No Japanese voice option. The online component, which is in the fucking subtitle of the name, Soul Calibur 2 HD Online. And the online is literally just ranked match, matched up of a random person, and private match with one player. But the thing about it is that in either one of them, you don't, like, you know how in other like games, like other games as a whole of lobbies, in ranked you might be able to match up rematches or maybe not.
Yeah,
like that's not a point. Like, that's like, is or isn't happen. That's not. It's usually part of the course is whatever the developer wants to do. But for private matches, with lobbies, like with friends, whatever, usually it's that you can match up with someone who's random, or you match up with your friends, like you make a room yourselves privately, and you can play multiple rounds as much as you want, like you back and forth, and stuff like that, and no problem. Usually, you let you have more than one person in a room too, but some games don't do that sometimes. I don't know why, but
yeah.
So the thing with Soul Calibur 2, what it does is you get matched up. You play I'm saying with your friends. I'm not gonna the rank things that its own little story doesn't have to matter, but with friends, you invite each other to a quote unquote room. You play the one round, and immediately after that round's over, it saves data, and then it boots you back to the fucking title screen.
I know a couple games that basically basically more or less just do not allow you to rematch,
like you can,
or boot you completely out.
Like you can rematch, yeah, but you have to keep making the room again and again and again. Like when people want to play together in like a friendly game, like online together, they want to, like, I don't know, play at least like 3 games at the minimum. Maybe go do a first to 10, something like. They want to like have a lot of games back and forth, like a marathon. I would hate to see, like, on top of the fact that the game is $20, as opposed to like other fighting games or other games in general that get HD releases or remakes, something like that. They're like $5 to $15, something like that. This is $20, and yet basic concepts or basic features, they fuck it up, and they're asking for like a premium ass price. The only like I don't get it. It's fucking stupid. That's why I'm saying like. That's why I could see, Square Enix and Disney possibly omitting some of these basic things, like have Riku, Kairi, Sora scene together, fighting together. I can see them possibly not fucking doing it, because Square Enix has been, to say the least, really stupid the past few years.
No, yeah, and like I can't even, kind of. Go with that.
Yeah, like hopefully they don't mess it up, because like the hype the hype and the audience and all the words surrounding Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like if they fuck this up, there's no. They might as well shut down the whole entire company. Like you can't fuck this up. This is like basically their last, more or less their last straw, because people are like that they're on that thin of a line for them. This and Kingdom Hearts, I guess not Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 15, which used to be called Final Fantasy Verse 13.
Yeah,
like this is their two last chances to make people like
come
back, or even remotely have any sort of like respect or anything for them. Because like, according to people who have played Lightning Returns of Final Fantasy 13, it's not very good apparently.
That doesn't surprise me.
Which I personally, I'm disappointed in that, because I like Lightning. I liked Final Fantasy 13, the original one, despite having some little issues. And I know some people don't like the lack of freedom for most of the game. But honestly, I never got to see that stuff, because I got stuck in one of the bosses. I think I forget what chapter it was. It was Bartholomew or something like that. He looks like a UFO with like 5 heads. And then just when I'm about to kill him, he does a fucking instant kill move, and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to stop this? I don't even think there is anti-death curse in that early in the game. That's what I have to deal with. I never got past that boss, because I don't feel like the need. I have to overgrind myself just to beat this guy. When I'm going through up until he does the instant kill, I'm raping him. I'm keeping my health levels high. I'm doing really well, killing off each of the little heads really quickly. And then he does the instant death kill, and I'm like, what the fuck was the point of that? I just wasted 10-15 minutes just to get instant killed for nothing. So that's why I never beat 13, because of that moment. It's stupid. So maybe it's bad, and I just never got to the end. Maybe 13 really is horrible, and I'll find it out later on in life. Like when I'm like 60 years old.
That's just what Dan. All I have heard is again just the lack of freedom compared to all the other games. Now, to me, coming from a not so big Final Fantasy person,
yeah,
I can easily name off how many games I've played. I have played the first 2 hours of Final Fantasy VII.
That's all you need to play. Honestly, any more, you'll probably want to kill yourself.
I have played the demo of Final Fantasy X. Although I have seen a full Let's Play of Final Fantasy X, I don't know how. Thankfully, it's from a person I actually really, really like. So he actually made me want to keep watching, rather than me thinking, why am I watching this? I don't know. But he at least kept me watching through, I think, 110 parts or something.
Wow.
And I sat through the entire thing as a marathon, watched the whole thing through, and as for just seeing the story, not actually playing it myself, seems kind of fun. Anyways, so those two, and I've played up to chapter 6 in Final Fantasy 13. Mm-hmm. That is it. I have barely, more or less, the most I've ever played is literally like 6 or 7 hours or whatever in Final Fantasy 13 to get to chapter 6. That is the most I've ever played in one of those games.
Yeah.
Now, again, going back to how, the problems of how linear it is compared to the other ones, I kind of like it. Because I actually like being told where to go and what to do. Now, sure, maybe, 12, 11, maybe later on in 10 that I can't remember actually do tell you where to go, give you a big marker on the map saying go here, dumb shit. maybe they do that. I just haven't played them. But I like actually being told where to go. Now that'd be a whole other subject of our games literally holding your hand saying follow this person, go here, go there. To be perfectly honest, I would rather have that than literally being like, okay, here's this area, explore, figure out where you're supposed to go.
You would hate Dragon Quest 1.
You have told me before how it just drops you on saying good luck.
It basically says like it's like a basic thing of like, okay, you're this guy, you want to save the princess, please save my princess, and that's it. I think it's like the I think I said I might mention the bad guy Dragon Lord, but it's like I think it's like the Dragon Lord kidnapped my princess, please find her. Like that's the king says, and that's basically all you're given. Like for the very beginning of the game, that's like all it is.
Yeah, like I definitely could not play something like that.
I personally, I don't know. As me, I can kind of change my way just for games like that. Like, I can put myself in like a perspective to allow it, but I can understand why a lot of people wouldn't like to play that game, especially now that Dragon Quest 1 is really, it's kind of aged a lot.
In not the best sense?
It's kind of in both ways. Like I like that really old school style of like a Japanese RPG game. I really like that style, but to people, there's a lot of people who can't play that kind of game. They just don't like it. Yeah. Much like how there's a lot of people who can't, like, as much as I can say I love Dark Souls or Demon Souls, I can understand people who can't play those games. But at the same time, if someone is that type of person who can't play those type of games, don't fucking play it and make a let's play of it or something like that. And just literally, like, if you yourself, if everyone's telling you that it's just not for you, you can just admit to yourself that the game is not, this action or this game or this type of skill or this class or whatever or career is not for you. Just take it and just listen. Just don't force yourself to do something that you don't have to do. Like, I see people all the time playing like Dark Souls Let's Plays, and they're like literally spending like 7-8 parts, not even 7-8, like 10-15 parts, 20-30 minutes each clip, and they're like stuck on the very first beginning of the game, or like they'll go to like this one, I forget the exact name. It's like the very beginning area, the hub area of the game, and they're getting killed by like the skeletons, which the game kind of more or less tells you, ignore the skeletons, don't bother with them because they're too strong right now, or just do something else. It's just not where you're supposed to go. It really spells it out to you in a really subtle way. It's very smart. The games, like, I really love games like that where it teaches you how to play, but without like blatantly saying, "Bah, do this." That's why the game, much like, you know, Ego Factor says he likes like with Mega Man X or Rockman X. I said his name wrong on purpose. Fuck you, Aaron Hansen.
That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, I'll go into that another day, another time.
Please request. Well, we're gonna do it anyways, but please request for that because, oh boy, we're open to like almost any subject you guys want us to talk about. Absolutely.
There is we'll use some discretion, I'll be honest, but we're open to almost anything, really. Yeah. So, like, these people, they can't, it's not for them, and yet they'll keep playing this, and then they'll wonder why people are telling them they're a retard. Whatever.
So,
by the way, Final Fantasy VI is the best one ever made.
Ooh, nailed, knife to the back.
Fuck you, Final Fantasy VII. I hate. I can't. I can't. Even if I'm like with people who like. I can't. I can adapt myself to different type of groups of people. Like I can say, like if I'm with a bunch of people who love Call of Duty, I can like suppress my dislike of most of the game and just be like, okay, yeah, I'll have some fun, I'll play the game, something like that. I can do that for a lot of things, but I can't for free things. I can't suppress my my way of acting or thinking. I can't suppress my way for Final Fantasy VII, for the My Little Pony friendship, My Little Pony fan base, and I cannot suppress myself for what's it fucking called? For More Combat, like More Combat or Never Realms and Midway fighting game people. I can't suppress that. I hate all three for legitimate reasons, but if you want to talk to me about that privately, I'll talk to you about that. But on here, I'll just say I just dislike those things as a whole. Yes, I played or watched those mediums quite a lot. I actually fucking regret watching the first season of the My Little Pony show because it's like people.
Wait, what?
I watched the first season because it's like people are like, "Oh, you gotta." Because I'll say even before watching it, I'm like, I fucking hate this thing. It's so fucking stupid. But they're like, "Well, you can't say that unless you watch the show. You gotta see it's got great writing and blah blah blah." And I'm like, you know what? I'll refrain from saying anything about this series until I watch the first season. Okay? Will you guys be able to act like adults just for this one moment? Obviously, they can't. But
no.
So I watched the first season. I don't like it. Big deal. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's just
How much time are we on?
Almost an hour.
Sweet.
Why is that sweet?
Because usually these things are like 3 hours long, but
That's all we can take.
I'm sure.
So let me get this straight. We started off with Brian's death and his return, and we end on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. How did we get there?
It's like what the internet says. Ponies fucking shoved their rainbow dicks into everything. I'm being serious. I Google search anything, or YouTube search anything nearly almost anything. And I get a fucking pony result for it. Like,
oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Like, I one time, I'm searching. It won't even be like something like this thing crossed of ponies or something like that. It'll just be a pony thing will appear.
Yeah.
Like, for example, on YouTube, like I'll search something like Fist of the North Star episode 55 or something like that. And sometimes I'll get like a pony thing like on my image of my search results. Does that mean like these pony videos when they were uploaded, do they literally like in the description or in the tags put like every single possible thing they can think of?
They must.
In there, like that's the only thing that comes to mind for that to happen. Or a YouTube's search engine system is really just that fucked. It could be both, honestly. For all I know.
For all we know, it could be both. All right, so I think we're done.
Yeah. I think we're good.
All right.
I think people have gotten tired of hearing my voice just for today at least.
Oh, maybe for about 45 minutes is enough. But okay, so thank you guys for listening. As for returning bits to this,
if you guys, we might probably like do more of this on our own, like just for the heck of it. But honestly, if you put it in the comments section below, like and subscribe. Just tell us in the comment section below like subjects you'd like us to cover. We might more than likely will be happy to cover them as long as with discretion of what you want to talk about. I won't say what we're saying we can or can't talk about. That's up to you to see what your maturity and your discretion or what you think people should be discussing. That's up to you.
Yeah, so then just almost absolutely anything. Games, shows, anime.
Life subjects.
Literally anything. And we will cover them in a future episode, basically.
Of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, just everything has to end with Dragon Ball Z.
Nah. I'd rather have Dragon Ball Z results than My Little Pony results.
Everybody would.
I think everyone except for the Pony fan base.
Yeah, that's true.
They can, they can drink motor oil or something. I don't know.
Anyways, okay, so Dan, thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you guys next time.
And remember, when there's smoke, it's over 9,000!